All right, we're back. Same day, same sweater. Euphoria Season 2, Episodes 1 through 6. It's a weird split. I just kind of started watching it when I first but I just finished moving, so I started watching when I first got here and just kind of somewhat binged a lot of it and then just didn't find time to make this video until now. So I've gotten 6 episodes in and figured I should make this and then go episode by episode. Okay, so I think generally it's more of the same as far as just what goes on in the show. It's a lot of the characters putting themselves into bad situations, making them worse, and having almost no, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, they don't really want to change. Where it's like you don't really see many characters going like, I want to be better and everything. You see Rue towards the end finally, but it's like for most of these episodes, you're not seeing them really want to change their situations. They just keep wanting to dig themselves deeper intentionally. But let's go into specific characters, which there's a lot, coming off of Ozark, which has very few. Rue, I think Rue does well. I don't think she does great. I am bordering on really good. I think she does more of the same, which, I mean, not that there's anything wrong. She won an Emmy for the last one, but I think to really build on really good performances like that one, to make them great, like people were expecting, you got to do something different, and they did nothing different with Rue. They did exactly what they did in season 1, so it got really old, and you started to get, while it told the right story, correct story of addiction, for the sake of television, you got to give us something different, and it took them a while to get there. Each episode's like an hour long, and it took them until episode 5 to even dig into her at all. So for episodes 1 through 4, it's just Rue relapsing and kind of not being on screen all that much. Like, if it weren't for the fact that you knew this was about her, she would have been so supporting. Because this became Cassie's show, season 2, which was, I'm not upset at it, but it was random. Okay, Jules, I don't think she matters that much this season. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I'll go from Jules right into Elliot. Elliot's a really cool new character. He is the character they had an open call for any people that are actors out there. He was the character that Euphoria did the open call for to bring in, and then they gave it to a celebrity, which is okay. But Elliot, saying that, I love the choice of that actor. I think that he's really good, and he's got a very natural way about him where it makes you want to watch him. He's got like this weird charisma that he plays a druggie really good, but like in a way that you don't hate him. Fez, I think Fez could easily be the highlight of this season just because he's like so charismatic, and it's like, who knew we would connect on such a deep level with a drug dealer? Like, and he's not even an actor. It's fantastic. I mean, he is now, but he wasn't. Lexi, she's getting more screen time. She's not my favorite character, but I do appreciate that they're giving her more screen time because she's got, if you think about the story, she's got such a big role in this. Like, she's closer to Rue than almost anyone else at school. It's not Jules. And for most of season 2, they haven't really dug into that, but it's like they're going to have to at some point. Nate's a terrible person, but he's probably my favorite part of the whole show just because he's the most interesting character the whole time, because his character doesn't need to change for you to be completely like invested in what's gonna happen next, because his character in being the same is always gonna make things crazier, whereas the rest of them, if they stay the same, they're gonna keep doing the same thing. Nate stays the same, and it's just gonna keep going until either he or someone really important is dead, and that's definitely where this is gonna end up going. It's gonna take a few seasons, but it'll get there. So love Nate. Maddie, wish she was on screen more because she gets more and more interesting in every episode, and they just don't give her enough screen time. Kat, not on screen enough, and I love that. We'll get into that. I just think that actress doesn't have the it factor. The writing is bad. I heard there's stuff with her and the director. I'm a fan of her somehow kind of just getting pushed from the show completely because I don't think she fits with the vibe. And her storyline was kind of boring from the beginning. It's like, as self-indulgent as it all is, hers was self-indulgent on such a simple level of like, I mean, I get what they're trying to do is like her self-acceptance, and she has so many issues with herself, but the way they start to paint that picture made it really difficult as far as longevity, where after season 1, she kind of went as far as she can get. She got to the happy relationship and someone who accepted her, and so then season 2, it seems forced for her to go anywhere else. Especially if she's in high school, it's like, that's not going to go sour. It's just, they're going to work until they won't. They'll probably graduate and go their separate ways. And so now it seems really desperate for them to scratch and claw at a way to keep her in the show. And even in episode 6, the way they have them break up is so, like, I would have much rather had that 5 minutes back of my life and just had a shorter episode. Because it was just like, it was so, like, am I right? It was so cringy.
Yeah, very.
Where it was like it was real in some sense where like high schoolers do that where like she didn't know how to break up with them, so she got real weird, but the way they did it, the writing was awful. Just the whole vibe of that scene was so stupid and just seemed so like rushed to put together, whereas like they realized after the episode she hadn't been in anything and they were like, we gotta give her something. And also, like, now that they've done that, she has 0 point to be on the show. That relationship was the only interesting thing happening. And for me, it was half because the actor that played her boyfriend was kind of interesting to look at. It was like, he's just got an interesting look, which is, well, he's kind of in a lot of stuff. And it's like, he didn't even do much, and he was more interesting than Kat. I don't think that is a good character. In a show built on really interesting characters, that's a really uninteresting character. And I've spent so much time talking about her. Cassie, highlight of the season, hands down. Yeah. Cassie has gone hard. She needs all the awards. She has been annoying. She has been heartbreaking. She has been frustrating. She has been funny. She's always funny. But it's like...
And the mom.
No, we'll get there. But Cassie is just spot on. I think she's really, really good. And I think they're showing off Sydney Sweeney's wheelhouse. And I think because she blew up so much off season 1, that's why they've leaned into her so much. Is they were like, oh, wait, this is probably the best actress on the show. And it's like, I mean, not to take anything away from Zendaya, she's great. But it's like, I think they realized that they've got another household name in the making with her, and they're like, we gotta like capitalize on this now. Then we got Cal, Nate's dad, who I think, while I'm not a huge fan of them spending so much time on one specific parent for no reason in particular, I wasn't upset at it. And I think his monologue at the end of his episode was amazing, and that made up for any other discomforts I had or like issues I had with that whole thing. So if that's the last we see of Cal, which they're kind of trying to paint it like we're not going to see him again and he's just left, good way to send him off. Ashtray, I have my prediction that Ashtray is going to be that third kid in the picture from it's Jacobs? Nate Jacobs, right? That's the Jacobs family. I think it is. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I think he's Nate's third brother. There's 3 people in that picture during...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
Wow.
You think so? That's my... Yeah. And my girlfriend. I think that Ashtray might be the third brother just because we don't really know where he came from. In the episode where they talk about him and Fez, he kind of just turns up. I don't know why the Jacobs... I don't know. That's my prediction because I think that'd be interesting. And they made a specific shot of us seeing 3 kids in that picture. Also, I think I'm just desperate to see more Ashtray because I think the idea of having a like 14-year-old drug dealer is hilarious. And I want to just learn more about him. Rue's mom, Leslie, so good. Just she gets so little like screen time, and she does so much with it. And it's a character that you need for it to be believable, and she just really hits the mark. And I think she did that in season 1 as well. It's just more of the same, and I love it every time she comes on screen. Rue's sister, same thing, capitalizes on every like her and the mom are kind of always just together, and I think their tandem is perfect. They're just great casting. Cassie's mom, the funniest part of the show, bar none, like the best part. And I think I want you. Oh, cookies. I want more of her as well because in episode 6 specifically, it's almost like they just let her loose, and I loved it. Ali, I'm really just putting him in here because he's for the whole show got barely any screen time and is just the best. My highlights, there's a lot just because a lot goes on, and don't let that trick you into thinking it's better than Ozark because it's not. Highlights, score, always. The score to this show is up there for the best score of any show that's ever existed. Fez and Lexi, love that. Highlight. Cassie's mom going nuts, love it. Cal's monologue, like I said, love it. Kat's lack of screen time, highlight for me. Rue's mom, Leslie, her performance, great, along with the sisters. Cassie's mom, Sue's, fantastic. I love that they're shedding, this is my last one, I believe. Shedding more light on the adults makes this feel like less of a teen drama, which I think was a danger zone for them, is like, because it's HBO, you expect that they're gonna like turn a teen drama into something great, but it's still hard to keep it from going like teen drama, like Gossip Girl or something. because when you're just focusing on teenagers, at some point you wonder, why aren't their parents doing anything? And then it kind of, that suspension of disbelief kind of gets reeled back. And so them giving like a whole episode in episode 6 to kind of relationships with parents, and this whole season kind of digging into Cal or showing a little bit more of Suze and giving Leslie some more stuff to work with, and bringing Ali in as a father figure for Rue. I think that's intentional, and I think that's allowing you to kind of buy into the show a little bit more as far as the realism goes. It's not just a bunch of teenagers running amok with no parental advisory at all. Nate drinking whiskey with his mother is the epitome of what is happening. But it's like, it's real. Like, I thought it was fake for a second, but then I was talking to you and I was like, oh, it makes sense. They were breaking down, and it was like a moment they were sharing. My last one, episode 5 in general, the Rue going nuts episode. Low lights. I have to put Kat's lack of screen time, because while I enjoy it, it's not good for the writing. The directing and creative shots and colors are not nearly as interesting as season 1. And I think that's intentional, but I think that it's hurting more than it's helping. And so I'd say for season 3, that's inevitably going to come, go back to that a little bit. Because that was part of what really made this show so iconic, was the look of it. And I think while they have some shots, it was so consistent through season 1, and it's not anymore. And they're really trying to just hyper-focus on the stories and the characters. And I think you could do both. I don't think you need to lose one to get the other. I think they've done one, they've done the other, and now they should put them together for season 3. Interesting characters, really cool plot lines with the interesting shots. It can be done. Jules' character overall has been lackluster. I think what they built in season 1 has been completely crumbling in season 2. She's literally just dependent completely on her relationship with Rue for relevancy, which I think is stupid. And they're even like attaching her to Elliot now, where it's like Elliot's become so much more relevant than Jules that they need to make Jules into Elliot now just to keep her kind of intriguing, because they know we're going to kind of like be looking at Elliot like, yeah, he's cool. And so it's like, we're looking at Elliot, let's throw Jules in there, because now Rue's going to like leave Jules. I think they should do more with her. Writing at times has been a little tacky and offy, like I said with the cat scene. It's inconsistent. Sometimes it's great, other times it's kind of wonky. And I mean, I know that's kind of what Sam Levinson, I think, is kind of, I think he writes and directs. He's been kind of known that, like Malcolm and Marie kind of seem like a reach for like really trying to get attention on certain things, and I think he does it a lot in this season too, where it's like sometimes he hits, sometimes he misses. And then more of these 3 characters, we need more Ashtray, more Fez, and more Maddie. Point blank. They're all fantastic in the little bit of screen time they get, and I want more of it in the next few episodes and or season 3. That is it for Euphoria season 2, episodes 1 through 6. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back with episode 7 individually, and from that point on, it'll be episode by episode. Euphoria season 2. Watch it.